President Bola Tinubu has lauded the Nigeria Police Force for creating a visionary initiative, a Mementos Youth Summit, organized in commemoration of the United Nations Youth Day 2024, which represents a vital opportunity for Nigerians to recognize and celebrate the contributions and potentials of young people who are the heartbeat of our great nation. The president, who was special guest of honor, ably represented by the Honorable Minister of Youth Development, gave this remark at the Nigeria Police Youth Summit 2024 held on Monday at the Nigeria Police Resource and Conference Center, Jabi, Abuja. The president said the Nigeria Police Youth Summit is a special avenue to deliberate on pressing issues of national security and development, which are most crucial to our collective progress and prosperity.
We know that insecurity is a huge challenge when for our young people to go to farms and all of that. So we're in the process of building a partnership between the Civil Defense Corps, the NSCDC, and we're hoping to also foster that kind of collaboration with the Nigerian Police Force, where our enterprise clusters would be secured by young people who come from the communities where these enterprise clusters will be created, because the NSCDC has a mandate to secure critical national assets. So the PIEC, the enterprise clusters, and for short is called the PIEC initiative. So the PIEC initiative we envision will morph into critical national assets that need to be protected. So once people have a sense of ownership, then they will be more obliged to protect this infrastructure. So that way we're also leveraging local security intelligence, and of course we hope that we can build that partnership and see how to bring the Nigerian Police Force into it, because their mandate is also to ensure that the internal security of lives and property of Nigerians and people living within the Nigerian borders is secured. So this will go a long way to solve two major problems: unemployment and insecurity. And of course, food insecurity is also part of insecurity. So
on the theme of the summit, enhancing Nigerian youth value for national security intelligence, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Adeolu Egbetokun, noted that the event commemorated the UN International Youth Day and it signifies the commitment of youth to enhancing the national security through youth inclusivity and engagement.
Number one is that, of course, Prof said it, our responsibility is not to take part in protest, but to manage protest. Two is that the intelligence at the disposal of the police. Anyone who knows what we know about this protest will not come out to protest. We have intelligence at our disposal that some agents of destabilization are ready to use the hardship protest to destabilize our country. I won't be able to share the details yet because we are still on the trail of these individuals. Some of them are already out of the country. They immediately escaped. Some of them are even foreigners. One of them was traced to the Labour House the other day, and I was just wondering why the noise about the raid on Labour House when the police didn't raid Labour House. We raided only a shop that the individual was using as a front, and we have been monitoring his activities. He was very active in the Sudan crisis, and he's in Nigeria mobilizing people to destabilize our country. We traced him to that shop, and our detectives raided his shop. We recovered valuable documents. So there was no need for the noise about the raid of Labour House. We didn't raid Labour House. The NLC Secretariat was not our focus.
We are struggling. You are living in affluence. Why should this be? Identify with us in terms of the challenges. A fourth one, we must recognize that traditional African society, we have this nature of feeling that the older generation, they feel that what is it that the younger generation can give? But the dynamics have changed. If we look at the issues that I mentioned earlier, in terms of cyber threats, AI threats, and the rest of them, who is best positioned to manage them? It's the youth. Many of us adults, if you look at our phone, you don't use your phone 5-10%. But when you look at the younger generation, as young as age 10, 11, 12, 13, they use their phone 70%. In fact, their phone is more like an office for them, for the younger generation. And that is the huge difference in the way they do these things. Another challenge, failure of the justice system. We are having serious challenges with the justice system because cases are delayed. When cases are delayed and people don't see consequences for those who commit crimes, is a challenge. When youth are taken to the justice system, there is a particular way that that younger people should be treated. Because of delays in the system, they are not so treated. So you see quite a number of things happening within the justice system. And that is why huge kudos should go to Mr. President in the support that Mr. President is beginning to give to the judiciary. It happened in Lagos. It is now happening at the federal level. We are going to be having a new Chief Justice of Nigeria very soon. All of these things will work together. And you see a situation where I will say that, yes, Mr. President has supported the judiciary. The judiciary also must use their own network to monitor themselves and reflect accountability. When they do that, when people commit offenses and they see the consequences early enough, it will deepen the confidence of those who are acting right. It is when people are not facing the consequences of their act that everybody feels, well, there is no big issue in committing a crime. But when people see that those who commit crimes are being disciplined and they follow the rule of law in doing this because it is important, you will see that everybody will begin to embrace the rule of law.
The summit highlighted an address by the keynote speaker, Professor Lanre Fadon, who focused on the importance of youth inclusivity in key areas of national security. The Youth Summit also featured a panel discussion which gave an avenue for several youth leaders and representatives in attendance to seek clarifications and understanding of vital issues and solutions to several challenges facing the country.
I asked him a question that has been bleeding in our hearts today. I directed a question to IG Direct about the threats some geopolitical ethnic groups has always been issuing to Ndibo generally on leaving their state, leaving their geopolitical zone and the rest of it. How are they keeping quiet in the face of such threats and insecurity like that? And he rightly said they will address it, and also we should make our formal complaint, which we've done severally. The whole states in Igbo land under Haneze Ndibo did not participate in the just concluded protest. The reason is because we are self-made people. We have issues on our own. That is, hunger is the list of problems that we have. We have not been feeding from government. We have not been waiting for government to give us food. We have farmers that farm. We have our shops where we trade. We have important things that we do that give us money. But we have our peculiar problem as Igbo people, which is ranging from insecurity, the detention of Nnamdi Kanu, and the lack of government presence in the southeast, not being inclusive in the polity of the nation, which we have taken upon ourselves as the youth of Haneze Ndibo to address diligently, have a dialogue with the government, not being on the street protest. Our issues are peculiar and cannot be solved through protest. That is why you don't see us protesting.
At the end of the Youth Summit, stakeholders commended the Inspector General of Police for this visionary and exemplary initiative, which aligns with administration's focus on youth development and national security agenda. Olayemi Eson for Spy TV.